And joining me now is Bradley Bowman, Senior Director at the Center on Military and Political Power at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies in Washington. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
Let's begin with the United States' announcement to send cluster bombs to Ukraine. How will this help on the battlefield? And does the U.S. view the current political insecurity in Russia as a sort of opportunity for Ukraine's counteroffensive?
I think these cluster munitions will be helpful on the battlefield. According to early reports, that is already happening. They'll specifically be helpful in targeting dug-in Russian forces that are in trenches. And as we all know, the Ukrainian counteroffensive has not been going as quickly as many would like. And a large reason for that are these dug-in Russian forces that are sitting behind minefields. So these cluster munitions will be helpful. I would just be quick to note that Russia has been using cluster munitions in Ukraine for a long time. Their cluster munitions have a much higher dud rate, and they've used those cluster munitions to attack civilians, whereas Ukraine has committed to the United States not to use them in areas where there are civilians and to keep track where they'll be used so that you'll have more effective cleanup efforts after the conflict ends.
And I just want to ask you, does the U.S. view the current political insecurity in Russia as a sort of opportunity for Ukraine's counteroffensive?
You know, it's a great question. The whole incident with the Wagner Group and the Wagner chief Prigozhin has been stranger than fiction. One would hope that as the cost of this unprovoked invasion of Ukraine increase, that it'll increase domestic opposition to Putin's war of choice. But we have not seen a lot of manifestations on the battlefield of Ukraine as a result of the domestic turmoil back in Russia. So it remains to be seen.
Absolutely. Some critics say whenever there's a war, there's an American presence. What's your take on that statement, especially when it comes to Iran?
You know, I think America's adversaries take note of whether we have the military capability and the political will to back it up. America has unparalleled military capability, but a lot of our adversaries view us kind of like a bodybuilder that looks good in the gym and looks good in the mirror, but out on the street won't throw a punch. So military capability that you're not willing to use is less effective, and it leaves the thugs with the impression that they can get away with anything.
Bradley Bowman, Senior Director at the Center on Military and Political Power at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.